Assalamu alaikum everybody, this is Yuka Speaks and my name is Yuka Tasnim. So I'm doing this series on Surah Al-Humaza. Surah Al-Humaza talks about three groups of people, but my primary concern are the first two groups of people, which are the backbiters and slanderers. They are called Humaza and Lumaza. And yesterday I released a video where I talked about some examples of Humaza and Lumaza, the backbiters and slanderers, the criteria that falls under Humaza and Lumaza. Now, by criteria, I mean the kind of behavior we exhibit onto other people that we usually do not consider to be as like part of backbiting or slandering, but it is actually considered to be as such. And this is defined by the scholars that have existed in the past. And Allah Rabbul Alameen does not like this kind of behavior. Allah Rabbul Alameen does not like this kind of people who continuously backbites and slanders about other people. Now, today, in this video, I want to know why people do it. Like why? What kind of fun do they have when they talk about other people? Because I, personally speaking, I find it to be really very cruel. It's very cruel. Like, I'm talking about this person's appearance, I'm talking about this person's fashion sense, or the way she or he talks and everything, or maybe something regarding their personal lives behind their back. It shows one's character, honestly speaking. It shows my character if I, the way I talk about other people. So, yeah. So, I have read several tafsirs on this surah, and the one I liked most was by Noman Ali Khan. So I found a video he did on this surah, and I took some clips from his video, from his lecture, and I'm just going to put those clips in this video so that you can understand what I'm trying to say, because he spoke it better. The way he gives lectures is just amazing, and I find it so easy to understand. He makes understanding Quran really very easy. So the way he said it cannot be said any way better than that, right? So the next clip that you are gonna hear is him portraying why people backbite. So I hope you understand. I hope you can draw your own conclusions.
Is this speaking ill of other people to their face or behind their back? When does it become, and obviously Allah is talking about people who do this a lot, right? Who are habitual at it and do it quite a bit. When does this become part of someone's personality even? It's just what they do. This becomes their personality trait when they have nothing better to think about, when they have no better preoccupation in their life. There's no higher purpose in their life, so they have to find their purpose elsewhere. You know what happens a lot of times, and there are even entire like novels and TV shows, and entire like genre of literature dedicated to this. When people have nothing better to do, they end up being overly concerned with each other. Like there's all these like comedic references to suburban life, where people are worried about the next one made a better lawn than we did, or they didn't pay their HOA dues, or that one, did you know what they did, or what kind of car they drive, or I heard this happened or that happened, and constant gossiping among neighbors, or people within the same social circle. Did you see what she was wearing that other day? Oh my God, where did they buy their clothes from? This kind of unnecessary talk is considered included in Humaz and Lumas. And when does this talk happen again? When a person isn't concerned with higher things, then their mind has to be filled with other concerns. By the way, this is important to note for the reason the previous surah was dedicated to get your mind concerned with the primary concern, which is innal insana lafi khusr. And the primary remedy of you getting out of trouble, illa alladhina amanu wa amilu salihat wa tawasaw bil haqq wa tawasaw bis sabr. That's what you're supposed to be concerned with. When those concerns go away, then your mind travels to these other things. And instead of finding flaw in yourself, you start finding flaw in others. Actually, I think it's Mufti Muhammad Shafi, he quoted an Urdu poem in describing this attitude of a person of weak character, who fails to see their own weakness, and the only way they can find to cover their own weakness is to constantly find weakness in others. That's the best way they can cover up their own weakness. So he wrote, I'm just going to cite one part of the Urdu poem, don't get too happy. औरों की अज़मत क्या जाने kamzaf jo insan hote hain. What that basically means is how those who are low of character themselves, how can they ever appreciate the goodness of others? All they see in others are flaws. When a person, all they see in others is flaws, either to their face or behind their back, you know what that means? They themselves are of a low character. They don't see the good in people, they only see the flaws in people. And that doesn't speak of the other more than it does of their own selves. May Allah protect us from such attitudes.
So yeah, this is the clip I wanted to add. I actually added in my video because the way he said it, I would never be able to say it in that exact words. I don't know what happens to my English sometimes, but yeah. Anyway, I'm fasting, so please forgive me. So this is the psychology behind why I am concerned about other people, why I am looking at other people's faults, where according to Quran and the advice that Allah Rabbul Alamin is giving me, I should be concerned with my own flaws. I should be concerned with my own lacking and I should work on them. And when you start doing that, you actually do not have time to look at other people. In fact, you start looking at other people in a more forgiving eyes, like, oh my gosh, rectifying a human being, rectifying yourself is very hard. Changing habits are very hard. It's not easy. And when you see other people doing, let's say, something wrong, something bad that they should not have done at the first place, you see it from the eyes of mercy, from the eyes of kindness and compassion, because now, since you're working on yourself and you're finding it hard, you're struggling with yourself, you understand that these people are also struggling. Okay? And maybe they also know where they're lacking, their flaws and everything, and maybe they do not see themselves with kind eyes. Let me be forgiving towards them. And that is something I have, like, I personally experienced. So yeah, so I'm going to add another clip from Noman Ali Khan from the same lecture, where he says it again. Like, he was, while giving this lecture, I think he was on a fire, like the way he portrays what happens in society, and it was so on point. So it's really very funny. I found it really very funny that he gives this example of how when we hang out with friends and cousins or any members of our family, how we talk about other people. So if you listen to the clip, you will understand and you will find it really relatable. So yeah, here goes the clip.
Now, as actually Imam Razi put it, is two interesting comments. One of them, that the Muslims have fallen into a deteriorated culture, where three of them or four of, let's say four people, Muslims, are having lunch together. They're talking about the fifth one who's not here. And they're going off, because he didn't show up for lunch, they figure this is the time to just go off on the guy and just rip him to shreds, right? And then one of the four, says, oh, I gotta go. I have a meeting. So he goes. Now there are three left. Guess what those three are gonna do now? They start on number four. Yeah, he's a good guy, but let me tell you. And then they start on him. And even worse, sometimes, he doesn't even have to leave for you, the three of you, to gang up on him on the dinner table and humiliate him among you. And you say, we're just kidding. You get it. We're just kidding, right? We're just kidding. And this idea of it's not a big deal of humiliating someone because it's just among friends. Well, who's going to do that? Enemies are not going to do that. And you're not going to have that done to you like at the train station or at the office. It's really going to happen to you among friends. This is where it happens, and it happens a lot. Hence the word that implies that it takes place quite a bit.
I am literally going to leave this video here. I'm not going to add anything more. And as I mentioned before, the clips are really very relatable. I would really encourage anyone who listens to my these videos to go and listen to Noman Ali Khan, because as I said again, he makes Quran very easy to understand. He is amazing. I think he is like a gift to Muslims, the Ummah, the mankind, because the way he makes Quran easy. I hope, as Noman Ali Khan said, may we not become of those people who have this attitude. And I think if anyone who listens to the entire video, they will have like a lot to think about. Inshallah, alhamdulillah, I'll come with the next episode tomorrow. So wait and